Greetings from Earth, salutations from space. Let's talk about the grace of Earth's pace. We have like 2 more arc minutes to do so. First sun is jumping the wall from Venus's earthly realm of tropical Taurus into Mercury's speedy air of Gemini. Oh, I'm up early this morning to continue a devotional practice and work, which is to record first and foremost with my eyes, but secondly with my camera lens, the evening stars, really kind of early night stars, some hours after sunset, and the morning stars before sunrise every 10 days. Or wait, sorry, let's talk about the accurate calendar, every 10 degrees. So with sun entering Gemini and therefore entering the first decan or the first face of Gemini, I was recording what the zodiac constellations look like at night from my backyard and pointing out specifically Regulus, the heart of the lion, which now lives at the 1st degree of tropical Virgo, because I'm spending time with the stars that are on the squares. And so in this morning time, I was working with Ancha and Famalo, one in the water bearer constellation and one in the southern fish, the royal star Fomalhaut, upon which the water bearer pours that stream from the lucky stars above. This all from northern hemisphere view. I was really happy this morning and somewhat surprised to make eyes with Hamal in Sheraton. So these are the bright stars of the Ram constellation, which now, at least from where I reside, 38 degrees north of Earth's equator here in Richmond, California, have had their heliacal rise. The sun has passed them by far enough that we can see those stars rising. Importantly, this is not only because of where they live in zodiac degrees, but because they reside north of the sun's path, north of the ecliptic plane, north of the heart of the zodiac, which makes them more favorable for viewing from northern hemisphere skies. So my guess is our friends who live south of the equator cannot yet see Hamal and Sheridan, these ram stars in the morning sky, but they down south can see Mercury while I can't. And this has to do with, well, what the ancients called straight and crooked signs. I don't want to trouble you with all that right now. What I want to talk about is the grace of Earth's pace and just how grateful I am to have consistent confirmation when I slow down that Earth speaks. So it's I had my alarm set this morning for 3:42 a.m. because last decan, when I came out here 10 degrees ago, so like 10 days ago, I came out at 5 a.m. and it's not early enough anymore because the sun is rising so early, right? And so that was not such a great morning star video because the big star, that one we call sun, was already close enough to the horizon to take so much of the celestial friends from terrestrial view. So this morning the alarm was set for 3:42 and I was actually up before then for reasons I might share before we get home here. And so I head out, and it takes me about 10 minutes to get to my morning star space. The evening star is much easier for me to work. I can do so. I mean, I'm very blessed to be able to do this literally from my backyard. So I'm recording a series of what I call backyard astronomy videos on a tour through the shifting sky as the sun moves over the course of the year through the phases of the zodiac. And I'm doing this, by the way, for the School of Astrology's constellations. So if you want to learn more about our membership group and the many, many offerings there, like a monthly class with me, astronomy teachings from me, astro herbalism teachings from Amala Hall, astro embodiment teachings from Alyssa Luna, astro tarot teachings from Phelan Shiva, and much, much more, like reading exchange circles, which will be opening soon for those of you who are in constellations that are listening now. For those of you who are not yet in constellations but would love to join us, or would just simply like to hear more about it, head to geminibrett.com/constellations, or you can link there from geminibrett.com by clicking the community tab. We would love to have you come share your star love and star wisdom with us. Okay. So anyway, I'm kind of not speeding. I'm driving slow like I do, right, out to my space. And then I've got to climb a hill, right? Actually, I mean, even on the way out there, I'm contemplating, like, when the baby comes, which is happening real soon, am I going to stay true to this devotion of getting outside every 10 degrees to record a video of the morning stars? The evening stars from my backyard is one thing. And when baby comes, life's changing. And even, when the cold comes, I will be challenged to get up and do the morning side of this work. So I was contemplating the difference between, like, work and service. And these videos that I'm creating, they're not, like, ridiculously exciting, right? I'm pointing out the zodiac constellations with the laser pen, showing you which degrees of the zodiac these stars in our day and age project to, so you can start to learn to see your chart in the sky and bring more of the sky into the chart. Really sharing amazing happenings, like the heliacal settings and risings of stars, and how the sky shifts in this experience of the marriage in heaven and earth as sun moves through the constellations and the signs. And I'm experiencing, like, these amazing truths that I know, like, technically, and I know on paper, and I know in astronomy software, and I've seen some of, but now I'm experiencing it, like, every 10 days devoted to this, right? So this kind of discipline of the work and the stuff that, I'm probably not getting paid for. I was really contemplating the difference between the 6th house and the 10th, and how the 10th is the 5th of the 6th, meaning that some of this just kind of discipline work, devotional work that we do, births the 5th, 10th, like, not only reputation and how we're known, but jobs and the like. Okay. I'm trying to catch up with some of the comments here. And it's like random. Scientists hate this guy. Maybe that refers to me. I'm going to leave the rest of this alone. Actually, Jose, get lost. Lillian, thank you. Random. Okay, let's do that one. Right, so the grace of Earth's pace. when we're coming out of the Aries mode, which we're really encouraged to participate with, of like rat race, that's not what Aries is, but Aries energy will certainly help. Like I drank coffee at 4 in the morning, not the wisest idea, right? It was like kind of get up and go. You need that charge, right? You don't need the coffee charge, but you need something. You need drive. It takes will, it takes fire, it takes spark, yeah? And then let's talk about the Gemini realm of fast mind. I was actually just connecting with uh, stars of the Big Dipper, and there's like a communications tower from this point of view, reaching through them, And I actually didn't even mention the video or kind of receive it at the time of just like how Gemini that was. So hopefully people watching that video in constellations will get a good laugh at it. But in between these places of drive and quick mind, we have slow down, receive, be in the moment, the grace of Earth's pace. And of course, it's not our training to be in that realm, right? So this is a more challenging one for us to claim and connect with. And some charts are designed in such a way that it's easier and some a little more difficult, right? So I'm on my way, like kind of charging up the hill so that I can record my morning star video before the sun rises. And I was reminded actually first by the smell of a skunk. And my dog Isabel was skunked recently when we were out on a hike, which was a drag, right? But like just that nature lives, and to maybe slow down. It was dark. There's coyotes about. Very kind of Gemini image. There's actually up where I go, there's cows. Pretty Taurus image, right? But I contemplated nature thanks to skunk smell and was like, no, you don't just run up the hill, dude. You like stop and tune in. And this is always my practice. Usually it'll wait till I'm like there, but it shouldn't. I mean, a nice thing about this Morning Star site that I've recently found, one, it's legal. I don't have to jump a fence like my last one. Though that other one had water and was very pretty. But two, as you're walking up this hill, you're walking right into Polaris, like you're just walking north. I'm walking north. And I always begin my practice with the directions there. I connect my heart to Polaris in the sky, and then I send my energy down beneath the ground in front of me, which is the direction of the roots of the IC, the Im Cheli, the bottom of the heavens, that place that hosts the midnight sun, right? Or the moon halfway between setting and rising, or, Sirius halfway between setting and rising, And so just there, I stop, I tune into the directions, which always slows me down, like instantly into the moment. Even if I kind of like go quickly through this practice and I reach down to the roots and I honor the ancient ones and the ancestors. And then I rise up to the east and I contemplate what new can come through me. And then I bring that up to the reach, which from the Northern Hemisphere view is the south, the place of the MC, where everyone culminates. And then I come to rest in the west, and then back beneath the ground, bringing that rising, reaching, resting back to the roots, and then the above and below and the middle, right? And so just as I'm doing this, and I mean, sometimes I will take 20 minutes to do that. And this morning it might have been 50 seconds. But just literally right when I connect to the roots, whoo, owl, right? And it's so nice to receive that confirmation from Earth. This is what I perceive. of good, slow down, be an earthling. You're running up a hill with a camera. Like, the camera, first of all, keeps you from receiving the stars. Although I have to say, this camera is amazing. There's stars I can't see with my naked eye, but I can see through the lens. It's really helping me learn. And especially, it's necessary for me to share and teach in this way. But that doesn't mean I have to go right to the batteries and on buttons and record, like, I need to be there personally. And so just to hear the hoo of the owl, such a beautiful reminder that Earth speaks and that the heavens speak through Earth. This is their marriage. And we, right, with the head in the heavens and the feet on the ground, are conduits of this. But we have to align to both sides. Like, I can't teach the heavens without being an earthling. I can't teach the earth without being heavenly. Who, right? You. All right. So then, brilliantly, I'm up there, I'm doing my thing. It must have been more than 26 minutes because that's how long the video can go for on this camera. And I had to record part 2, which was like 5 minutes long. So maybe I was recording for, well, let's see. I started recording. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So I'm on the way back down. And I hear a little rustling in the brush, and it's still pretty dark out. And so I'm not scared, but I'm worried about being in nature, and I want to be reverent and respectful and not rush. And, there's coyotes about, there's mountain lions about, which I haven't seen one up here yet. They have been seen. That would be the only one to be scared about. But what does that do for you anyway, right? So fortunately, like a rustling in the brush again. It's like you've done your job, time to head home, start doing some of the family work, getting ready to get the kid to school and the like. But a little rustling in the brush, right? Earth speaks, slow down. And so I do, and I looked towards the west, and now I get just the 3 stars of the wagon, or the Big Dipper, like in the handle of the dipper, the ark. And right beneath each of the 3 stars, 3 deer. And when I was born, in many tradition, it was the day of 3 deer, of 3 manik, or 3 kesh. And beautifully, I was speaking about this just last night, contemplating, baby's coming soon. We're having a baby girl. Due date is the 12th of June. And I knew yesterday was a deer day. Yesterday was 11 deer. And so I was sharing this with Koa. I said, if your baby sister is going to be deer like me, she'll have to be born in 20 days. Which is, I think June, is it June 4th? No, I think maybe June 8th. Anyway. And he's like, well, that's a long time from now. I said, well, that's actually before her due date, so it's possible. But what if she's the same as you? What am I? He says. And he's like, you're a crocodile, dude. And your mama's a flower, or the sun, depending on the tradition that you ask. Right? It's a very different type of kind of archetypal resonance with day keeping than astrology. And amazingly, Anna wasn't really involved in that conversation last night, but she had dreams of crocodiles. And that's why I was up early this morning. She was up early. Like, I was up even before my 3:42 a.m. alarm. So Anna was up. And yeah, she had a dream about like delivering the baby. and these like crocodile statues that she described, and I was like, oh, it's Sobek. Which is, crocodile Netheru from Kemet, the place we now call Egypt, yeah? And she was quite comforted when I read to her about Sobek and some of the powers of Sobek, and how Sobek kind of wards off evil and creates a space of protection, and actually for this reason was often brought into fertility and even childbirth. I mean, there's other beings that kind of take over there, and I'm speaking out of turn or out of culture in a sense here, or I should say out of study, because I'm very fringe when it comes to these roots of the heaven earth system, but intrigued, right? So I know Hathor, and I know like Boss is like beings for bringing babies through and fertility and nurturing and nursing and the like. But it was really fun to see Sobek there, and to also know that Sobek was like in the heart of maybe the first female pharaoh that we see on the old lists. And it's nice to, here we are, sun's just moving into Gemini, to be able to tune into the space waves and receive some of this information quickly, a thread that we can pursue at length down the road, yes? All right. And it's nice to have these space waves so I can connect and share mind and heart with you. And I'm excited to hear what you have to share too. Wow, how cool to see a comment from Egypt as I'm just referring back to these. And Lillian and Julie, nice to have you here. What, Jose, what are you talking about, bro? I'm not going to read that stuff. What? Manny's World, what's up? Says, my ascendant is exactly trine Famalo. At least the degree that star projects to. For that star is very far from the ecliptic plane. Sometimes I feel like we're not giving enough credit to celestial latitude, which would require us to play with the hypotenuse. Okay, so Aisha or Isha Sabris, 3:20 p.m. in Egypt, over 40 degrees Celsius heat. Love your outdoor videos. Love seeing that beginning light in your window. I can just feel Gaia moving under my feet. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's beautiful to hear, and how wonderful that Egypt came into the house. I think probably before I got to that dream. And I wonder if you could tell us more about Sobek, if that's been part of your study. Lillian says, right on, all is connected, earth and sky, connecting with nature above and below. Thank you for the reminders to slow down and appreciate it all. Yes, thank you. And Manny, see that as well. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's fun to consider, are the stars nature? And, there's different like definitions of nature, and there's been this philosophical argument for a time, but I want to leave you with that. Are the stars nature? And if so, how should we connect with their stories? Bye, y'all.